When we think about artificial intelligence, we often jump to like these futuristic scenarios, right? Robots doing all this complicated stuff. But AI is already like way more present in our everyday lives than we realize.
It is. It's really fascinating how AI is kind of silently powering so many of the things that we use and interact with every day.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we wanted to dig into today. We've been going through this transcript from SmartPodcast, and it's pretty eye-opening how AI is already everywhere. So consider this your shortcut to getting up to speed on AI and how it's impacting us right now.
Exactly. We want to pull out the most important insights from this discussion. Where is AI popping up in our daily routines? How it's changing the world of work? What about its influence on social media and entertainment? And of course, we got to look ahead. What can we expect down the road? We want to cover both the excitement around AI and, some of the concerns too.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this. Where is AI actually showing up in our daily lives? I have a feeling it's more widespread than we think.
Oh, it absolutely is. The SmartPodcast transcript gives some really good examples. Just think about those virtual assistants we all use, like Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant.
Right.
They're using AI to understand what we're saying. I mean, it's not just about recognizing specific words. It's natural language processing, or NLP, that allows them to actually understand the meaning and the context of what we're asking.
Yeah, it's not just set an alarm for 7 a.m. anymore. It's more like, remind me to grab the dry cleaning after work tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a whole other level of comprehension.
Exactly. And even something like online customer service. Think about those chatbots we encounter all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Many of those are powered by AI that's been designed to, answer your questions, troubleshoot problems, and even walk you through a whole process.
It's like the first point of contact in many cases, and it keeps getting better with each interaction. Okay, but what about something a little more fun like entertainment? Anyone who's ever gone down like a Netflix or YouTube rabbit hole, those recommendations that keep you hooked for hours, well, that's AI too, isn't it?
It really is. And what's so interesting there is how it analyzes not just what you've watched or listened to, but also what other people with similar tastes have enjoyed.
It's crazy how accurate it can be sometimes.
It is. And it's constantly learning and refining those suggestions to keep us engaged. But, it also brings up this interesting point about how this constant curation might actually be shaping our perspectives because we may not be exposed to as much diverse content. Researchers call this the filter bubble effect.
That's a good point. And what else is really interesting? How even the devices in our homes are becoming more intelligent all the time.
Absolutely. Think about things like smart home devices, like your Nest thermostat or those intelligent lighting systems.
Right.
They actually learn your preferences over time, and they automatically adjust things like the temperature or the lighting without you having to lift a finger.
So it's not just working on like a preset schedule. It's actually understanding when you usually wake up, go to sleep, and adjusting things accordingly. It's kind of amazing.
It really is.
And think about navigation. I mean, we probably don't even think about it anymore, but apps like Google Maps rely heavily on AI, don't they?
Oh, they do. They're using it to predict traffic, suggest the fastest routes, and even reroute us in real time based on what's happening on the roads.
Yeah, which we totally take for granted now.
Right. I mean, it's constantly processing huge amounts of data to get us where we need to go.
And even unlocking our phones. That quick face scan, that's AI too, right?
Exactly. AI-powered facial recognition. It's analyzing your unique facial features to verify your identity and unlock your device.
It's pretty impressive when you think about it.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot here. It's clear that AI is woven into our everyday lives in so many ways. But how do we as users feel about this increasing presence? The SmartPodcast transcript talk about this balance between trust and skepticism. What are your thoughts on that?
That's such an important point. On the one hand, AI is undeniably convenient and efficient. But on the other hand, there are valid concerns about privacy. What data is being collected about us? How is it being used? And of course, there's the whole issue of jobs being displaced as AI becomes more sophisticated. And even, the question of, are we handing over too much control to automated systems? It's a constant kind of push and pull between embracing the benefits and carefully considering the potential downsides.
Yeah, and that fear of job loss is definitely something that comes up a lot when people talk about AI. The SmartPodcast conversation also tackled this idea of job transformation, rather than just replacement. Can you expand on that?
Of course. It's understandable to be concerned about automation taking over tasks that humans currently do. And we are seeing AI becoming really good at handling those repetitive and data-intensive jobs like, data entry or basic customer service through chatbots or certain manufacturing processes. These are definitely areas where AI can boost efficiency.
So those routine tasks, might be the first to go. But the transcript also highlighted how AI is creating new opportunities. They mentioned healthcare specifically. What did they say about that?
Yeah, healthcare's a great example. AI is proving to be incredibly valuable in things like analyzing medical scans. It can spot potential issues, sometimes even faster and more accurately than humans can. So that means earlier detection of diseases, and maybe even a shift from reactive treatment to more proactive prevention. But the key here is that you still need human medical professionals to interpret those findings, make the diagnoses and develop treatment plans.
Yeah.
The AI is like a powerful tool that helps doctors and other healthcare providers do their jobs even better.
Right, so it's more about AI assisting and offering insights rather than replacing doctors altogether.
Exactly.
And they also talked about creative fields, which I think might surprise some people.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. AI is becoming a creative tool. Think about video editing software that uses AI to suggest cuts or transitions, or music software that can generate different instrumental parts, or even AI writing tools. These technologies can help artists get over creative hurdles, experiment with new ideas, and, just work more efficiently.
So it's more of a collaboration than a complete takeover.
I think that's a great way to put it. And the transcript really emphasizes the importance of adapting and upskilling learning to work with AI. I think that's a crucial takeaway for anyone listening.
Definitely. It sounds like the future of work in a lot of industries will involve this partnership between humans and AI. And those uniquely human skills, critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, creativity, those will be more important than ever.
I completely agree. And, the transcript pointed out that AI right now doesn't really think or feel like a human. It's not there yet. We're even seeing new jobs emerging, like prompt engineers. These are people who specialize in giving AI systems the right instructions to get the results they need. So, it's a shift towards humans managing and guiding AI rather than being replaced by it.
Okay, so let's move on to something that affects pretty much everyone, social media. The role of AI there seems especially complicated. The transcript called it a double-edged algorithm. Can you unpack that a little for us?
Absolutely. Social media is a really interesting case study for AI. Platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, they all use AI algorithms to curate the content we see. It's constantly analyzing our past interactions, likes, follows, you name it. And then it uses all that data to personalize our feeds. So that's why your Facebook feed is full of posts from friends and pages you engage with most. It's why TikTok's For You page seems to know exactly what you want to see. And it's why YouTube keeps recommending videos that align with your viewing history.
So it's basically a highly personalized experience.
Right. And while that can be great, it's convenient and entertaining, the transcript does point out some downsides.
What are some of the biggest concerns?
Well, one major concern is the creation of what they call echo chambers. Because AI prioritizes content we're likely to agree with, we might end up in these online bubbles where we're only exposed to one perspective, and that can contribute to greater societal division because we're not engaging with different viewpoints.
And it's not just about our opinions. The spread of misinformation is also amplified by these algorithms, right?
Exactly, because sensational or emotionally charged content, even if it's not accurate, can spread like wildfire if it resonates with someone's existing beliefs. So it's a real challenge.
And then there's the fact that these algorithms are collecting and analyzing massive amounts of personal data.
Yeah, the privacy implications are huge. Social media platforms know so much about our online behavior, our connections, our interests, all of which feeds into these AI systems. So it raises important questions about data security and how this information is being used.
And the transcript mentioned another issue, the addictive nature of social media and how AI plays a role in keeping us hooked.
Right. These AI algorithms are designed to understand what captures our attention, and they're constantly tweaking the content to maximize our time on these platforms. So, it contributes to excessive use, and that can impact our attention spans, our well-being even. The SmartPodcast conversation really emphasizes the need for us to be more aware of how AI is shaping our online experiences.
Okay, so let's switch gears a bit and talk about something that sparks a lot of debate.
Yeah.
AI in entertainment, specifically in creative fields like art, music, and writing. The transcript talked about it as enhancing, not erasing creativity. Do you agree with that perspective?
I do. I think it's an important distinction to make. We're seeing more and more AI-powered tools being developed for creative purposes. Things like DALE, which can create super detailed artwork based on just a text prompt, or ChatGPT, which can help with writing tasks like drafting emails or even outlining stories. And there are even AI music generators that can compose original pieces.
So these tools can actually produce creative content on their own, but where does the enhancement come in?
It's about how artists and the creators are using these tools. They're not seeing AI as a replacement for human creativity. They're embracing it as a new tool to help them explore new ideas, experiment with different styles, and just work more efficiently.
It's like having a digital creative assistant.
Exactly. An artist could use AI to generate a bunch of visual concepts and then use those as a starting point for their own work. Or a musician could use AI to create different instrumental arrangements and then personalize them. The human element, the vision, the emotion, the final artistic choices, that's still what matters most.
So it's a collaboration rather than a competition. Okay, so looking ahead now, what's next for AI? The transcript gave us a glimpse into what the next decade might hold. What were some of the predictions that stood out to you?
Well, the SmartPodcast discussion talked about a few key areas where we can expect some pretty big advancements. Self-driving cars are becoming more and more common. Companies like Tesla are really pushing the boundaries there. And we're also likely to see AI playing an even bigger role in healthcare, things like faster and more accurate disease diagnosis, which could lead to earlier and more effective treatments.
Self-driving cars and AI doctors. That's a pretty big shift.
It is. And they also talked about even more sophisticated AI-powered personal assistants, assistants that can really understand us and have natural conversations. And then there's the whole concept of smart homes and even smart cities, where AI is managing everything from traffic flow to energy consumption. It could make our urban environments way more efficient and sustainable.
So the future's looking pretty AI-driven. But the big question is, will AI ever reach human-level intelligence?
Yes. The quest for artificial general intelligence, or AGI. The transcript mentioned that some experts believe it's a real possibility in the coming decades. This is the idea that AI won't just be good at specific tasks, but it will have the same broad cognitive abilities as humans. Things like abstract thought reasoning, learning across different areas, and making complex decisions.
That's a pretty mind-blowing concept.
It is. It's like comparing current AI to being really good at something specific, like playing chess or recognizing faces. AGI would be more like a human brain, able to learn and apply knowledge to a huge range of tasks. It would basically think and understand the world the way we do.
Is that something that most experts agree on?
It's still a very active area of research and debate. We've made incredible progress with what we call narrow AI, which is AI that excels at specific tasks. But getting to true general intelligence, that's a whole other challenge. So the timeline for AGI, if it's even achievable, is still up in the air.
So to wrap things up, this deep dive into the SmartPodcast transcript has really highlighted how fast AI is evolving and the huge impact it's having on our lives.
I agree. And it's only going to become more influential in the years to come.
AI has so much potential to make our lives better, from making everyday tasks easier to tackling big challenges in healthcare and other fields. But as we've discussed, there are also some important things to consider, like the future of work and the influence of AI on how we consume information and connect with each other.
Absolutely. Being aware of both the opportunities and the challenges is essential as we navigate this increasingly AI-driven world.
Well, thanks for joining me for this deep dive. It's definitely given me a lot to think about regarding the AI that's already here and what we can expect in the future.
It's been a pleasure. This conversation is far from over, and it'll be interesting to see how it evolves alongside the technology itself.
And for you, the listener, as you go about your day, maybe you'll start to notice some of these subtle ways AI is already shaping your experiences. Here's something to think about as AI continues to develop. What aspects of human intelligence and creativity do you think will become even more important? It's a question worth pondering as we move forward in this ever-changing technological landscape.